Good afternoon, class. Today we'll be talking about the measures and also the method of calculating national income as we explained to ourselves in the previous class. So in the previous class, let me just recap what I said. In the previous class, we explained to ourselves the method of calculating national income, the expenditure method, the income method, and also the value added method. So today, I come along with a question in which we'll be trying the first method, which cut across the expenditure method. So let's go. So I'll be explaining the expenditure method using a particular question. So like we all know that the expenditure method is the what? Is the addition, or we can just say is the addition and also the subtraction of the major factors that determine the economical standard or the national economy, whether it's an open economy or whether it's a closed economy. So let's go with a question which says C is equals to 100 plus 0.5 YD. So we have our investment to be 10. Let's use 10. We have our government expenditure to be 25. And let's regard our taxation to be 25. Now, the first approach that I'll be using as well is let's go with a closed economy first because we explain GDP to ourselves. So in that approach, let's look at the things or the key metrics that we are going to be calculating here. First, they ask us to calculate the national income using the expenditure approach. The second thing they ask us to calculate here is to compute the consumer, or we can say the consumption function. And the third one is they asked us to get the disposable. Also compute the disposable income. So we will be working on this three dimension, the national income, computing the consumption function, and also computing the what? This disposable income. So going by that, the first approach we are going to make use of is calculating the national income. How are you going to do that? The first thing is we should understand that in a closed economy, we regard our GDP to be C plus I plus G, which is consumption plus investment plus government expenditure. Likewise, whenever we are working with a closed economy, we normally regard GDP to be our national income, which is formally represented as Y. So we can now say Y is equals to what? C plus I plus G, which means consumption plus investment plus government expenditure. Now, going by that approach, our consumption is given to be 100 plus 0.5 YD. This YD represents our what? Our disposable income, plus our investment, which is 10, plus our government expenditure, which is what? 25. Now, let's continue. So since our, before we go by that, let me just adjust something here. So we have 100 plus YD to be our consumption. But they ask us to find the national income, which is Y. It will be Y is equals to what? 100 plus 0.5 YD plus 10 plus 25. Now, let's use our mathematical approach now. So we have Y is equals to 100 plus 10 will give us 110. 110 plus 25 will give us 135 plus 0.5 YD. So how are we going to continue by this? Then we are going to look at something. Since we said Y is equals to 135 plus 0.5 YD. Don't let us forget that our YD normally represents what? Disposable income. If you recall in the last class, I said our disposable income is equals to Y minus T, which is income minus taxation. So in this question, we are given what? Taxation, which simply says Y is equals to what? 135 plus 0.5 into Y minus what? What's our taxation here? Which gives us what? 25. So hope you are following. Now let's continue. We can now say our Y is equals to 135. 135 plus 0.5. Why? Now you multiply 0.5 multiplied by 25. So 0.5 multiplied by 25 will give us what? Will give us 2.5. So we can now continue by saying y is equals to 135 minus 2.5 plus 0.5y. So 135 minus 2.5 will give us what? That means it's going to give us, so we are left with 132.5, which is plus 0.5y. So we can now say y is equals to 132.5 plus 0.5y. Then you collect the like signs. So that will be y minus 0.5, y is equals to 132.5. So we have what? What is common here? Y is common. We say 1 into 1 minus what? Is 0.5 is equals to 132.5. So 1 minus 0.5 will give us 0.5. So we are now saying y into 0.5 is equals to 132.5. Then we divide both sides to get our national income. Divide both sides by 0.5. This we cancel this. So our y will be equals to, so our national income will be 265. So let's express it in terms of million. That means our answer is 265 million, which shows that this is our national income. So we just calculated the first question that we were given to calculate the what? National income. Now, let's now compute the consumption function. In order to compute the consumption function, we have to get our disposable income. Since our y is 265 million, definitely our disposable income will be yd is equals to y minus t, which is yd is equals to 265 million minus, if you look at it, what's our taxation here? 25. That will be 265 minus 25. So our disposable income will be 240 million, which is after what? Taxation. So we just got our disposable income. So the next one is to calculate our disposable, consumption function. From the outset, our consumption function was C is equals to 100 plus 0.5 yd. We are given already, so our consumption function will be 100 plus 0.5 into, what's our disposable income? 240 million. So we put into 240, we get C is equals to 100 plus 0.5 multiplied by 240. We have 120. So our consumption function is 100 plus 120, which will give us what? 220 million. In this case, we just use what? We just use expenditure approach in doing our national income, compute our consumption function, and also compute our disposable income. So if you have likely question you have been battling with in regarding or a peculiarity to national income accounting, we can make use of, we can help you out. Just send the question and attach below. Then we will be able to explain any question in regarding that. We'll be able to analyze them using the what? Expenditure approach.